Good morning. Thank you very much for joining this Honpa Hongwanji Hawaii Betsuin special Ohigan online Sunday service. My name is Reverend Toyokazu Hagio. I'm a Chief Minister of Hawaii Betsuin. As you know, Higan is a time we calmly reflect ourselves and listen to the teaching of the Buddha. This year, we are fortunate to have Reverend I. Hironaka. He is currently the Residence Minister of Lahaina Hongwanji, Maui. And he has been there since 2010. Reverend Hironaka was born in Hiroshima, Japan. He graduated from Ryukoku University and then doing missionary. He first arrived in Hawaii in November of 2002 and has served at Hiro Betsuin, Aya Hongwanji, and Hawaii Betsuin. Let's together put your hand in God's show and start the service. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Amen.
Samma Sambuddhassa Good morning, everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank Reverend Rinban Hagio for your invitation for me to be able to share my joy of Nembutsu. So at this Higan service, I would like to share one of my memories when I was minister of Hawaii Betsuin. And I hope it relates to your Ohigan service. Ohigan is a Buddhist holiday celebrated in Japan during both spring and autumn equinox. It is observed by nearly all Buddhist sects in Japan. The tradition extends from mild weather that occurs during the time of equinox. People evaluate their own practices, not others' practices, and visiting graves or nokotsudo and attend temple service. They make a renewed effort to follow teachings of Shinran Shonin. Higan means the other shore. It is an abbreviation for Tohigan, meaning reaching the other shore. During the week-long observance, emphasis is placed on practice of the 6 paramitas, huse, self-giving, jikai, observing the precepts, ninniku, patience, shojin, endeavor, jozen, meditation, and chie, wisdom. These paramita lead us to the other shore, the Buddha's shore. The word paramita is Sanskrit for gone to the other shore. So how many of you practice these 6 paramita during this season? It is impossible to practice even one of the paramita completely. Like jikai or patience, even the patience of wearing the face mask all the time gets so stressful for us. How can we get there amida Buddha's Pure Land, the other shore? When I was minister at Hawaii Betsuin, I remember my first Sunday service that I attended. It was Japanese service at 7:30 a.m. After the chanting of Shinjin no Uta, all the ministers exit from altar except speaker for the service. Then we all going to sit on pew from the back door and listen to the Dharma message. I usually sit front left side with some other ministers. After the message, I hear uttering of Nembutsu from my back. It was just like ministers one. Namandav, Namandav, Namandav. Loud but soft Nembutsu. I thought, are there other ministers from Japan? I looked back to check and see. A gentleman was sitting behind me. The gentleman was wearing white shirts, necktie, and he carries well-treated, nice nenju. I thought maybe he was visiting from Japan, but his face was kind, handsome than Japanese. The gentleman was Sherman Thompson, who originally comes from Lahaina Hongwanji Mission. By the way, this nenju is gift from the Kahu Sherman Thompson. After that, I found he is Kahu, a school chaplain for Kamehameha High School at Karihi. I was so confused because he is ordained Christian minister, but he comes to Hawaii Betsuin for listening to the benevolence of Amida Buddha. He never visits Japan even once, but he comes to attend Japanese service only. And he speaks fluent Japanese. What is going on? I thought his seed of Nembutsu which planted by his original family wasn't cast off from deep inside of his heart. On Maui, the number of services has become less and less, but they are still holding traditional Bonmairi visitation and service. Years ago, Sherman Thompson's younger brother, Dan Thompson, who was devout Christian for a long time, called me to arrange Bonmairi for the first time since I came to Lahaina. Dan-san was a Hongwanji when he was young, but then his life experience led him to become a strong Christian member. However, he came back to Lahaina Hongwanji. I was so happy, and I visited so-called Shibao House on the prison street, original house in which Sherman Thompson grew up. The grandparents of Sherman and Dan Thompson were Yasuto and Sugi Shibao. They were devout Nembutsu followers in Lahaina. When I entered the Shibao house, Dan-san guided me to their butsuma or butsudan room. There was a well-maintained butsudan that was beautifully decorated with osonaemono and flowers. During chanting, I noticed that old brown paper turned back on the wall right by the butsudan. After the chanting, Dan-san asked me, "Sensei, what is written on it?" Then I stared at the paper. There was hiragana writing on the paper. Then I found that it was a religious poem. It says, "Mairu hakarai o suru ni arazu, mairashite kudasaru o matsu bakari nari. Do not calculate for going to the Pure Land. Arrow to be taken to. Just only be waiting." When I read it, I was so grateful for it. Dan-san said, it was placed there by Grandpa Yasuto Shibao. I thought it was written by Grandpa Yasuto Shibao, so I share this poem as being written by Yasuto Shibao at Hawaii Betsuin's radio program. But later, Reverend Kamuro found this poem in Reverend Umitani's father's book, Reverend Professor Emeritus Noriyuki Umitani's book titled Kono Inochi o Ikite. According to Umitani Sensei's father, this poem was originally written by Gizan Ashikaga, who was Kangaku scholar monk, Jodo Shinshu monk in Hiroshima. Ashikaga Gizan is father of Lady Kai Wariko, who was founder of Kyoto Women's University, and Ashikaga Zuigi, who was a head of Ryukoku University. And this book said a little bit about the background of this poem. This poem was written for his other son, who was about to pass away, and sent it by letter. This poem has delivered to me deep rejoicing, humble joy of Amida Buddha's working. When I add one word for this poem, it comes out simply and easy to understand, I thought. It goes like this. Waga musuko yo, mairu hakarai o suru ni arazu. Waga musuko yo, mairashite kudasaru o matsu bakari nari. Dear my son, do not calculate for going to the Pure Land. Dear my son, you are to be taken to. just only be waiting. It has deep wish and hope of the Father to deliver Amida Buddha's unconditional walking to the Son. Just only be waiting is not negative waiting, but very positive, modest waiting. Waiting with Amida Buddha, waiting with and trusting in Amida Buddha's heart. Just let go within Amida Buddha's primal vow. Dansan said, it was written and put on the wall right before his wife Sugi Shibao passed away. I guess the Hongwanji minister at that time shared this poem with Mr. Shibao, and he put it right by the Butsudan. Even though they were Nembutsu couple, Yasuto-san worried about the passing of beloved wife Sugi-san. But with this poem, Confession of Nembutsu Gratitude, they were at ease. After Sugi-san was taken to Amida Buddha's Pure Land, Yasuto-san also aged and had dementia. Sometimes he woke up at 3 a.m. How Dan-san recognized Yasuto-san woke up was because Yasuto-san's Nembutsu uttering. After he woke up with Nembutsu, Namandab, 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 he go to wash his face with Namandab, Namandab, Namandab. And he changed his cloth with Namandab, Namandab. Although Yasuto-san's eye was not well, he knew where the Butsudan was, where they put candle, matches, and incense. After all set up Butsudan with his Namandab, 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 then he ring the bell and start to chant Shoshinge. When people have dementia, I think real self flows out. Some people grumble a lot, some people are just very grateful. This Yasuto-san, he seemed to be like that. His uttering of Nembutsu, humble attitude for morning service, etiquette of Jodo Shinshu followers appeared at the time of his dementia. How wonderful it is. How grateful it is. Shinran Shonin said in his notes on one's calling and many calling, know that the person who says the Nembutsu is the white lotus among people. Shakyamuni Buddha and Shinran Shonin teaches us that the person of Nembutsu is lotus, wonderful and very finest person, and all the conscious Buddhas are praising the Nembutsu person. In our society, there are various ways of praise others or to get praised, such as working hard, helping others, volunteering, and so forth. However, here in this Hongwanji temple, how we could be praised is all based upon recitation of Nembutsu, humble attitude with full and trusting in Amida Buddha. Shinran Shonin teaches us in his hymns, the ocean of birth and death, of painful existence, has no bound. Only by the sip of Amida Buddha's universal vow can we, who have long been drowning, unfailingly be brought us across it. Shinran Shonin clearly teaching us how to get to the other shore. How can we cross it? Only entrust Amida Buddha's universal vow, which is just embrace me, regardless my condition. What we need to receive from visiting Nokotsudo or graveyard is this mind, attitude, and heart of Nembutsu. The person of Nembutsu is Honpa Hongwanji Mission's Dharma treasures, the wonderful, excellent Dharma treasure, the truly rare Dharma treasure, the very finest Dharma treasure. I'd like to conclude with a poem written by Gizan Ashikaga. Please put your hands together in gassho. 参る計らいをするにあらず、参らしてくださるを待つばかりなり。Do not calculate for going to the Pure Land, arrow to be taken to, just only to be waiting. Let go yourself within the Amida Buddha's universal vow. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, 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 Namanda.
Shinshu Pledge. I take my refuge in the vow of the Buddha. Reciting the name, I will use the right with strength and serenity. I reveal the light of the Buddha. I will put my effort in my work with self-confession and gratitude. I follow the teachings of the Buddha. Discerning the right path, I will spread to the Dharma. I rejoice in the compassion of the Buddha. I respect and help others, and do my best for the welfare of humankind. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
On behalf of Hawaii Betsuin, I would like to extend my appreciation to Reverend Hironaka for preparing and sending the message for us. Also, thank you everyone for joining this Ohigan service. Please take care and looking forward to seeing you next week. Thank you. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda.
Hello, Dharma friends. I hope you have been well and staying safe and adapting to this new way of living. I know that we have not been able to meet in person with one another, but I know there are other ways that we can connect with each other. And so I hope that you all are connecting and continuing to feel the oneness that we have with all of us. And so I wanted to say hello to you all and aloha, and please take care until we see again. Matane. Bye-bye.